You are extraordinary. That feels nice, doesn't it? To have someone tell you that. Now, what happens if I say, you are extraordinary? We don't feel quite as special, do we? But we are. How can such a wonderful word be made up of two so very mundane conjunctions? Perhaps it is because it is formed from the fibers of the very people it describes. Humankind. Notice how I didn't say mankind. History so often teaches us the stories of fantastic men from our past. Men like Mozart or Martin Luther King Jr., the Roman emperors. Extraordinary men, you might say. Characters we remember because of their impact on the way we live our lives today. The mark they stamped onto human history is one to which we can all relate. The lived experience to which we can all aspire. Because in their own way, these men represent us all, right? Well, almost. Some of you may have noticed that as I stand up here today, I am a woman. For some of you, it won't have even crossed your minds, although I bet you've noticed now I've told you. I used to sit in my school history lessons and learn about Shakespeare, a man we've all heard of and all rightfully revere, and think to myself, wow, what an impactful character. What an extraordinary contribution he made to our history. I would love to be able to write stories which made people feel like he did. His characters, plays, sonnets, stories are enjoyed the world over. But I cannot write like this. I cannot write like this, not because I am unable, but because I cannot relate. Shakespeare is heralded as someone from history who apparently tells the stories of everyone. But I found myself wondering, where did I fit into all of this? I did not see myself on his pages. I did not read my experiences in his characters, or indeed in history's characters. Where were all the people who were just like me? Put your hands up if you've heard of Shakespeare. Okay, good. I see pretty much everyone's hands are up. Now put your hand up again if you've also heard of Emilia Lanier. Okay, I see far fewer hands. Now, don't worry, I'm not here to guilt trip you into a frantic Google search so you can appear culturally savvy at your next dinner party. I hadn't heard of her either, until recently. Emilia Lanier was the first woman writing in English to assert herself as a professional poet with a published volume of work. She lived, worked, and wrote at the same time as Shakespeare, and yet far fewer of us know her story, or even her name. She is often referred to as the Dark Lady of Shakespeare's sonnets. But I ask you, why must we refer to her as adjacent to a man? Why do we not just call her a poet in her own right? She was extraordinary. The few women we do learn about in schools are a good start. But I think children deserve more representation, and I think we can do better. According to EndSexismInSchools.org, women and girls make up 51% of the UK population. And yet, half of this population is unable to name a female scientist. Notice again how I must preface the occupation with the gender, female, scientist. Why is a male scientist the default? Scientist. 77% of UK schools teach just one or no texts written by a woman. 99% of plays studied in schools are written by a man. 99%! And of the few women we do learn about, they are superheroes or aristocratic, biased. When people say women can do anything these days, what they really mean is women can aspire to do anything. But this is only because we cannot see it. There are two sides to every story. Shouldn't we be teaching children about all kinds of people? People they can recognize in themselves. Henry VIII, for example, was certainly no goody, nor was he ordinary. And yet we have entire textbooks dedicated to his reign, all because of the mark he stamped onto our history. Coco Chanel, similarly, was no hero, and yet she is left out. Neither character entirely good, nor entirely bad. We only learn about one, and yet who can we relate to more? Will we grow up to become a 6'2" king with a penchant for pork and an unshakable will stubborn enough to create a new religion, all because we didn't get along with our wife? Unlikely. Will we grow up to create a business which helps make comfortable the lives of thousands of people all over the world? I reckon we could all give that one a go, at the very least. What it boils down to is rewriting women into history as ordinary with a little bit of something extra, just like we learn about the men. I want children to see examples of all kinds of people, not necessarily heroes, but contributors in their own way to human history. They will see the world is made up of extraordinary, and they will begin to question, am I one of these people? Could I be? Because of course we all are extraordinary. When children see themselves represented, they will grow up more open, more tolerant, more extraordinary. And most importantly, they will grow up kind. And let's face it, the world could really use some kindness. So in a world where you can be anything, be the extraordinary I know you are. Thank you.